Anywhere you go, give it on. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and we have had a pretty crazy week here. First things first, I am Craig the Tech Guy. I am talking to you right now because that's you all have decided to tune in, even though there's other folks on you could be listening to. And we'll go ahead and disclose this now. What I'm going to be talking about today. Well, first things first, salutations. Shout out to everybody that is here. You know, from the left coast to the right coast. Shout out to everybody that's listening worldwide. Put a 1 in the chat if everything sounds good, and if it is it crispy, as Porter Rock would say. Big shout out to 60 Frames No Lag. Had to dip off because we had a big day at work today. I had like 270 patients to see, so couldn't stay on there very long. And but shout out, it was really fun. Of course, one of the topics that they talked about and we talked about was the Game of the Year awards, which once again got mentioned again. Now, I don't watch the Game of the Year awards because it's more of a show. And people got to understand it's more of a show for casuals than it is for people who are, quote, hardcore gamers. And the only reason why I would watch it now is to look at trailers that are coming later. But I am not going to I can just go ahead and watch that anytime. Like I can get up in the morning and watch the trailers before I go to work. And so that's what I'm going to do, you know, going forward. That's what I'm doing. So so with that said, the Game of the Year category, all those games that are nominated are deserving. They're all deserving. There's not one worse than another. Okay, there's not, and so I certainly wish them all well. I don't have I've only played. What was the name of that one? I've only played Final Fantasy Rebirth for about a half hour, but all the rest of those games I never played. But what he has up there is a big old eclectic group so that people will watch. Ultimately, that's what this is about for Jeff Keighley. It's about him getting eyes on his product so that people will actually watch it. Now, I've fallen out of interest with it because of it's too long of a show. Last year, people were telling them to speed it up. I don't know if you all remember that. So I don't know if he'll correct that this year, but that show lasted last year, 3 hours, and people that were falling asleep in the stands. But he was trying to get himself paid. So I'm glad he does the show, and I want to make this clear. He put himself on the line for this show. I mean, he went out and he put his own capital up when they rented those theaters a few years ago to celebrate gaming. I have no issue with the celebration of gaming. However, this was spoken on 60 Frames No Lag last night. If you're a hardcore gamer, then you watch the Golden Joystick Awards. So those are the developers giving awards and rewards to developers. That's the reward show that I like, or the DICE Awards, because those are developers giving it to developers, and that's what it should be. The fans voting is too convoluted, and that's why you heard people bitching. Well, this shouldn't be added, and this shouldn't be added. How come this is added? How come this didn't get added? And at the end of the day, all those questions are legit. But that's what happens. I've said before, that is a fanboy argumentative event that I don't watch because the fanboy stuff to me is over. You know, it's either you are enjoying what you got, or you're not enjoying it. And from what I can tell, there's a certain group of gamers who are not NOT. They are not enjoying what they have. But that's nobody else's fault. But it's their fault. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's their fault. So, but I wanted to talk about the big story. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Sony has sent a letter of interest, I should say, an LOI, about a possible purchase of a company called Kadokawa, which I believe owns FromSOFTWARE. So, but Kadokawa, that company has been around since like 1945. If you watch Godzilla -1, I believe the company that the kid or the guy goes to work for is Kadokawa. I think that's the company. I mean, somebody please double check that. I thought that was on the side of the boat, or I could have misread it. So, but I think that's one of the companies that started at like right after World War II. They're one of the first companies that Japan was able to put together after the atomic attacks by the United States on Japan. So, but they've been around a long time, and they own a video game. They own a video game company called FromSOFTWARE, and this is the equivalent of when Xbox or Microsoft bought Bethesda, because what they did is they bought ZeniMax, and ZeniMax, you got to remember, owned Bethesda for like $7.5 billion. So you got to figure Sony gonna have to come up with the cookie. That thing's gonna cost minimum. It's gonna be minimum. I'm gonna just guess in yen. I'll say it's gonna be about 11 billion yen, I think, give or take, somewhere around there. It's going to be a big purchase if they're able to get it. But I saw this happen, I guess, Monday or Tuesday, and I guess yesterday. It happened yesterday. And I was like, well, do I jump on this or do I wait for Sony to go ahead and make an announcement, or FromSOFTWARE to make an announcement? Now, I saw all the regulars jump online, your JTech TVs, your Marlin Gaming Nation, your MBG, and they immediately go to fanboy route. You know what I'm saying? They immediately go to fanboy route. And I was like, I'm going to wait until it's an official announcement. All right. I was like, I'm going to wait till there's an official announcement from FromSOFTWARE. Well, we got it. We got an official announcement. However, I want to make this clear to people. It is not a done deal yet. I'm going to put this story up here. And it comes from comicbook.com. And this is one of the groups I follow. And we're going to go right here with this. And you can clearly see Kadokawa gave an official response through their legal department on what's happening. Okay, but it's not a done deal yet. And it says here that Kadokawa has shared an official statement following the reports of a potential deal for acquisition by Sony. And they have revealed that it's far from done. It's a far from done deal as the time of this publication. This publication was yesterday. Anime fans have been questioning the state of the anime industry ever since it first reported by Reuters that Sony was currently in talks with Kadokawa for a potential acquisition. While the initial report highlighted the fact that Sony was already working closely with the game developer studio FromSOFTWARE. Kadokawa has major stakes in anime, light novel. I don't know what light novel is, okay? And foreign license processes. So it's brought up some questions about what a merger of the two companies would look like. Yeah, and I agree that, that has to be sussed out a lot better. It has to be sussed out a lot better. But it says they have shared a statement confirming that the potential deal between them and Sony has yet to be confirmed, noting that they received an initial letter of intent, or an ILI, to acquire the company's shares, but no decision has been made at this time. Okay? It says they are sure to emphasize that no official decision has been made and that they will be sharing an official announcement on the matter if so. And then they have a full statement, which I'm not going to go into. Well, we can a little bit. So it says the company has received an initial letter of intent, or an ILI, to acquire the company's shares, but no decision has been made at this time. If there are any facts that should be announced in the future, we will make an announcement in a timely and appropriate manner. This official statement from Kadokawa reads following the reports of Sony's potential acquisition of the company. Okay. Now, let's read at what Sony actually sent them. Okay. So this is going to be an actual legal disclaimer, and you need to understand what happened here. Now, here we go. When a business, in this case it's Kadokawa, receives a letter of interest for purchase, it's also known as an LOI, they should carefully review the terms outlined by the potential buyer. In this case, it's Sony. Assess the proposed purchase price and conditions, which we have no idea what that is. All right? And then they decide whether to engage in further discussions and potentially initiate the due diligence process that allow the buyer, this is Sony, to thoroughly examine the business. Basically, you got to show me the books. I'm sure you've heard that term before moving forward with a final sale agreement. This typically involves consulting with legal counsel. That's probably why this story got out, to understand the implications of the LOI and negotiate key terms before proceeding further. Key points to consider. Now, this is where they're at. Okay, there's no way to know in the process where they're at. The first thing they have to do FromSOFTWARE or Kadokawa, they have to evaluate the buyer's credibility. In this case, it's Sony. Okay? So Sony will check that off. All right? They have to analyze the proposed terms. In essence, how much are we going to get? Okay? Review the proposed purchase price, payment structure. Does Sony give a lot of money up front? Does Sony give a little up front and a whole bunch on the back end? Pause. Okay? Or does it all come like in increments? Like how Sony bought Bungie. You know what I'm saying? So when Sony bought Bungie, that was spread out over a period of time because they had a poison pill in there. So, says here that these conditions, okay, that if those conditions and contingencies are met, that's before a sale can even be finalized, right? Before it even gets kicked up. And it says any exclusivity clauses that might limit your ability to entertain other offers. So Sony could have walked in there and gave them this offer and then said, while we're in negotiations, you cannot be talking to nobody else. I tell you, a company that did not do this was 20th Century Fox when they were being bid on by Sony, by Disney, and by Warner Bros. I think, was it Warner that almost got them? It was like 3 different companies. So basically, they said, we're not going to sign an exclusivity clause to negotiate with you. Sony could have said, this is going to be, and it's while we're negotiating this with you, if you decide to go further, you all can't entertain any other offers. Now they have to consult with the legal counsel. It may not even be, if they got a letter out that came from their legal department, that's probably where things are. Then initiate discussions with the buyer. So that is Sony. So that's if they're interested. And that's, I truly believe, based on where we're at, that's where they are right now. Just based on what's come out, what's leaked, that has come out. Because again, it says if interested, respond to the LOI with any counter offers or clarifications and begin open communication with the buyer to discuss key details and negotiating terms. I believe this is just based on what is out there in the street. I believe that's where this is at right now. Okay? Now, if they get past that, where do they go? Then they have to consider the due diligence phase. Now, that can look like a bunch of different things. You can see right here. They get a look at the books. They can request financial records, operational data. All right? It's called doing due diligence. That is the legal department's job. They will do the due diligence. That may take a month. I mean, who knows, right? Then it says the non-binding nature. So you all need to understand that it's simply a letter of inquiry. It's not a legally binding process, okay? And then that way, if they can't come to an agreement, they just both walk away. They shake hands and walk away. So However, it does include, usually it includes a confidentiality clause to protect sensitive business information. Now, what they're talking about is Sony cannot allow things with FromSOFTWARE to get out, and vice versa. So, and then it says an exclusivity clause. We spoke on this before. The buyer could put in an exclusivity period. That's a poison pill to limit the seller's ability to entertain other offers while due diligence is being done. And I said before, I think that they're kind of in between the legal consult, because that's why it went public, because that got released through legal. So they're already past the initial the credibility, the offer. Now they have to see what else is going on. And I think we're right here at the 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Initiate discussions with buyer. I think that's where they're at right now. And I think that's why we haven't gotten anything from there. So it turned out the people that reported it were true. That was true, even though it was a rumor. It's true. How do we know it's true? Because FromSOFTWARE let a legal disclaimer come out. The nicest in the house said they only put out the letter to quiet markets, as the Tokyo Stock Exchange had to come out and make a statement. They're deep into these discussions. Yeah, or like I said before, I think they're the fourth step in this line. All right, now this again. I want to make this clear. This order that this is in, it can go differently, but this is generally what happens in the United States. I don't know what they're doing over there. I just know my Sony stock went up exponentially. And when all this happened, that's how I knew about it. I mean, I actually was sitting down eating breakfast. It was like, I don't know, 6:30 in the morning Eastern time I was eating, and poof, all this was going on. I'm like, man, what in the hell? You know, 3 letters for you people, XRP. That's how I'm going to leave it there. Says here that so I don't know if they've hit the I still think that they're in a, I don't think they're, I personally think they're in the discussions with Sony. That's what I think we are right now. So but yeah, the Tokyo markets the Asian markets went nuts. So yesterday's JTech and them others coverage was valid. The initial reports came from Nikkei Indian. No, like I said before, it's still a rumor until they put something out today. All right. So I didn't say it wasn't valid. I just don't cover rumors. Now, I'm talking about this now because we have it in writing. We actually see it in writing. Okay. You get in the portal tomorrow? Oh, all right, cool. No, I mean, a lot of people are buying it. Apparently, they went with cloud service, which is what we told you they were going to do. The long-term deal was going to be cloud, and then that was going to be their new handheld. And apparently, it's 1080p, 60 frames a second. That's what I've been told. So I'm not going to buy that. I've got the VR. I'm waiting on them to do something with VR. I think it's cool to have if you're on the road, if you're on vacation, and you want to take that. But why would you take a gaming system when you're on vacation? But that's just my opinion. That's my opinion. So it read that they've been in talks a long time. Well, again, it takes time to do due diligence. I don't disagree with that. It takes time to do due diligence. All right, because everybody's got to open up their books, and they have to find out, because you have to understand, are they talking about, and this is just me asking an open-ended question, Sony already owns like 14%. So are they talking about buying out the other, what would it be, 84% if it's that much? Because Tencent owns 16%. So it would be, and I want to give a big shout out to King Thrash, because King Thrash did a video a couple of years ago saying that Sony making that capital investment into FromSOFTWARE, when FromSOFTWARE had that open IPO, that open buy-in, King Thrash literally said on a video, he said this is the first step into Sony buying FromSOFTWARE. Now you all can go back and listen to it. So shout out to King Thrash. All right, shout out to Thrash. The portal had a huge update. All right, now I believe you. I'm not. So yeah, I mean, again, it's no different than when Microsoft bought ZeniMax, who owned Bethesda. Microsoft actually bought ZeniMax, and by default, they had Bethesda. So it's just the way it worked out. So, but again, they're going to own a lot of stuff, and they may have to get called in front of the board. Because again, I don't. My personal thing is that I don't like all this consolidation. I didn't like it when Microsoft did it. What's up, J Ro? I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. I think these companies need to be left alone. There are some companies that do need to be purchased. I say Remedy is one of those. And my understanding was Sony did launch an inquiry into Remedy, but Remedy said no, which is fine. Kadokawa is everything else but gaming. Well, they have a little bit of everything. They do. They have a little bit of everything, including gaming. But I understand the way you are looking at it is, well, how is this going to affect gaming? Well, one, we'll probably get Sekiro Shadows Die 3 times. I mean, we'll probably get something like that, which I think they own Tenchu and stuff. They own a bunch of gaming IP. But yeah, they own two of the last, 5 Goldies have gone to FromSOFTWARE. It was Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, which means you didn't kill the shadow the first time. You had to go and kill it again. It got double life. So, and then you had the one that just won, Elden Toilet Ring. So that's fine. I mean, it's not like they're a bad studio. But you will probably get Bloodborne 2. You'll probably get the remaster of Bloodborne. And then Bloodborne 2. So all these people who want these games, and you'll probably get is it Dark Souls they own? Is it Dark Souls? So you'll probably get another Dark Souls game, which is a direct competitor to Demon Souls, isn't it? So Kev says that he's buying it because when I hang out with your brother, him and I can play PlayStation at the same time. Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying not to buy it. I heard a funny story and somebody sent me this. And if this is true, god damn. Apparently your favorite YouTuber sold the Portal and then went out and bought it again. Yeah, if that is true, great day in the morning. Sweet Sister Sadie. If that is true, oh my God. If it's true, I don't know if that's true or not. So Demon Souls is what Sony owns. But isn't Dark Souls, isn't that made by FromSOFTWARE? Or isn't that, I don't know. So, that's why I'm asking. So, I mean, but I thought they had like 4 big games, and one was Dark Souls. The other one was Bloodborne, which I don't understand what people see in that game. Then Sekiro, and then Elden Toilet Ring. So, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't play those type of games. So, I mean, I don't understand what even Demon Souls is about. So, but again, I'm not knocking the people who play the game. Armored Core, but it's a niche, so they own Armored Core as well. I mean, again, I'm saying, now is Armored Core, is it played online? Is that like an online game? I have no idea if it is or not. Just asking. So, but my question to you all is, it was a pretty simple question, which is, will Sony be able to purchase FromSOFTWARE and Kadokawa? That should be not AMD. And you all are saying 84% are saying yes. So I assume you all want them to purchase it. Okay, I think that's fine. I think that's great. But what are your expectations when they do buy it? Because I can tell you right now, if they buy it, those games will be only on Sony's platform, because Sony wants to sell consoles. And Sony will only put those games on their platform. I want to make sure I'm saying is, they don't own jack shit yet. Okay, they don't own anything. Yeah, Shadow got double life. Exactly. Shadow had to die twice. It must have got, whoever the Shadow is, it got double life. You dig? So then FromSOFTWARE made Dark Souls as a successor to Demon Souls. Cool. Oh yeah, again, that's fine. I don't play these type of games. These are That's why I'm defaulting to you all. So because I don't to me it is what it is. They ain't going on. They not. Well, that's not. That could be part of the. What if that's part of the negotiation? You see what I'm saying? Part of FromSOFTWARE's negotiation could be, well, we put games everywhere, so you just can't put games on PlayStation and then put games on PC. Because again, they're putting games out to expand their foothold. That's what they have said. So I mean, that's my whole point. It can be what happened with Bungie. You know, it is what it is. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just simply saying, remember, when you're negotiating, you can put in, if they want your company, that means you have leverage. And you can leverage that. So, and it doesn't mean that it won't come on Xbox, pause. It may still be put on Xbox, but it may come 2 years later. There's a chance Sony, if they were to get their hands on it, they would say that. Yeah, sure, we'll put it on Xbox. We'll put it on PlayStation first. Then in 12 to 15 months, we'll put it on PC. Then after 12 to 15 months of us running that bitch down, then after that, PC. Then after another year on PC, we'll put it on Xbox. I mean, it could be something like that. Do I research my topics before going on? Well, sort of. Not really today. Not really today, because I'm not a fan of FromSOFTWARE. I'm just I was only reporting on this because there's an official legal letter that came out saying that Sony has initiated a letter of interest to buy. That's it. That is it. But yeah, overall, I fly by the seat of my pants. Because I go on live at 6:30 and I get home at 4:45. By the time I check the mail, the regular mail, you all would call it snail mail, then my email, return the calls, it's already 10 till 6, and then I'm like, all right, let me see if I can go online today and talk about some stuff. So, and we just podcast last night, and we already talked about this. I wasn't on very long, so I was just giving my 2 cents. So, Sonic 91 or Sonic 2? Sonic 2 is a better game. Sonic 2 is a better. I've never seen the SpongeBob movie. So, Mike Ybarra said this could be the best gaming studio acquisition. I saw that. Yeah, I saw his reasoning, and I'm like, it makes sense. It makes sense why he would believe that. I mean, again, shout out to Mike Ybarra. I mean, he definitely looking at it from an executive side, and I don't like all the consolidation. I didn't like it when Microsoft did it. I don't like it when Sony's doing it. I'm being fair here. I understand why Microsoft did it because they want to be a publisher. I don't understand why Sony's doing it because unless they're really thinking about going third party. You see what I'm saying? And that's not what Sony said to their investors last year. Now, guess what? We're coming up on a brand new fiscal year. We're coming up on it. Fiscal 1 ends in March? So we're going to find out. Maybe they've changed some stuff. The power play. How is it a power play? What exactly is the power play? So you don't understand what changes when guys were getting these games anyway. Well, I mean, again, I'm not, like I said, I don't like this one bit because ultimately, didn't Sony just fold the Japan studio? So what are they going to do with this one? I mean, what are they going to do with this? So, I mean, again, that's a big-ass company. Let's see how many employees Kadokawa has. I have no idea. How many employees does Kadokawa have? I'm just going to see if my Bing knows. They got 3,000 employees, so they will become Sony employees. They got 3,700. I'm sorry. You see what I'm saying? So Sony would own all those. They got to pay them, and you know what's going to happen. All the redundant people get the axe. We know that's what happens. Okay, it may take them 4 to 6 months to get there, but they're going to go ahead and axe it. The Demon Souls is what Sony owns. Okay, so all right, then who owns Dark Souls? Like, who owns Dark Souls? All right. Let me see. Alexa, who owns the video game Dark Souls? Oh, Bandai Namco. Okay, I guess that's a different company. So, uh, IP and talent. I understand that. I'm not. I understand the way Sony looks at it. Like I get it. I get it. You know, I had to defend them buying Haven Studio, because, literally because it's like, look, they people are like, well, Haven hadn't put anything out yet. Yeah, and you want to work with Jade Raymond. You don't want to work against Jade Raymond. They already working. They lost Kojima. Let's keep Jade, okay? Let's keep Jade in the fold. So they tried to get Kojima. Kojima said no. Fair enough. Grown ass man, big dog, big nuts. They went to Jade, and Jade said yes. That's fine. So, all right. What is manga? I don't. What is that? Sounds like a fruit. So, you buy Jade Raymond a drink for? I would. I'd buy her a beer and some wings. You know, yeah, Jade Raymond. That's a cute woman right there. So I bet she can make a mean steak too. So, um, so yeah. I mean, again, Kadokawa has a lot of IP. It's not super popular IP like other. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. Again, I'm only talking about this simply because what does this mean? Talking about the letter of interest. I know what you all are wanting. Oh, you want that Bloodborne that nobody plays, right? And you want to hit the triangle. You just want to come home and hit the triangle button. I get it, okay? Um, but the Sekiro game was actually pretty fun. But that kid didn't have no shoes on, and he told me to take a sword and go start whacking people. It's like, you ain't even got no shoes on. How you gonna sit there and tell me, grown man, what to do? So, but with that said, the game, I didn't even make it past the second person. You know, that fence you jump. I'm like, I quit playing this. All I'm doing is getting killed. So, but then people said that the game is supposed to be like that because all their games are really hard. Then I tried Bloodborne and I didn't know which way to go because it doesn't have like a compass for me to follow. And people are just like, well, that's the way their games are. And it's kind of like, and then what is that? Was some person you had to fight on there, Father Time or Father somebody, and everybody kept saying how hard that was. I ain't gonna play this. Manga are Japanese comic books and movies. Okay, cool. And it's called manga? Okay. That's pretty cool. That Capono said everybody. Capono, I don't understand why everybody's so crazy about that game. It's 30. Yeah, I know. It's 30 frames per second. So, I mean, that was all right. I mean, I didn't see what the big deal was. It's like, all right, this is okay. So, you know, everybody told me how great it was. I mean, this is trash. I'm just walking around hitting one button. Don't know where to go. And I'm like, I was playing the game. I'm like, man, this sucks. Where do I go? So, so, but yeah, I wanted to cover this, just to see kind of where things were in the process. And, you know, somebody in the chat said that things seem pretty far along. And I'm like, it could be. I mean, they may announce at the Gaming Awards that they bought them. I don't know. I do think at the Gaming Awards that Square Enix is going to announce that Final Fantasy VII and Rebirth are going to finally go over to Xbox. And that's why I hope, for their sake, I hope they win some categories so then they can have some momentum going into next year because they got Forspoken bombed. I mean, I enjoyed Forspoken, but that game bombed, man, and I really hated that for them because they had some cool stuff in it. The effects, the sound, you know, just hurt that cuff thing. I liked that. That was just, to me, it was cool. So, but that's me. It's okay. What do I think about Jeff Keighley, Elden Ring DLC being nominated? Again, I had no issue with Blood and Wine, and I don't care about Game of the Year because Game of the Year to me is the game that I like. And you know, I think I had said earlier, and this is the truth. I had only played those games that have been nominated for like 20 to 30 minutes, and that was Final Fantasy Rebirth. So, you know, I just loaded that on my Pro, so I'll be probably playing that over the weekend. That'll be my little Friday night that I start playing about 9 o'clock, and I'll play Rebirth. So, but again, it's Jeff Keighley has nothing to do with those nominations. That is being nominated by the developers, so he has nothing to do with it. But yeah. Didn't Blood and Wine win? And where was everybody's righteous indignation then? I thought Blood and Wine did it not win, or did it get nominated, or something like that? So it's DLC. Yeah, so was Blood and Wine. It was DLC as well. So, I mean, again, I thought Blood and Wine was nominated for Game of the Year. And again, look, when I did my Witcher run, like when I got both those DLCs in and I replayed it again, and I got that the good ending, if you want to call it that, I'm like, you know what? I can't lie. This is the best RPG I have ever played. And it still goes down like that for me. It is that one and Mass Effect are the two best RPGs I've ever played. Followed very closely by Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. I just beat Forbidden West last week. Effing phenomenal. Burning Swords. I beat Burning Swords last week, and I couldn't believe the size of that final boss. And as I said before, I had Aloy kiss the girl because after everything that bitch had gone through, she needs to get laid. So I'm like, all right, you have a choice. You have a choice to kiss her or tell her I ain't going to do that. So I'm like, no, I'm going to go ahead and kiss the girl and make her cry. I like that. You meant to say reviewers, not the, but yeah, reviewers. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, guys, it's all opinion, and you all have grown up console warring, and you all think everybody's opinion matters. It does not matter. It's like when Malcolm X was in prison, and the guy asked him, "Why are you so anxious to get back outside?" And he said, "Because everybody on the outside counts." And he said, "Why does everybody on the outside count, Malcolm?" So again, you all just make up your own minds, I didn't play Elden Ring in whenever it was, 2020, 2021, because I didn't care for Bloodborne. But I heard nothing but good things about Elden Ring. I still haven't finished God of War Ragnarok. I played it little bit past the big fight at the beginning. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. I played past that. I'm like, okay, there was this other stuff I wanted to play, not to mention we were in the middle of a pandemic and I'm in healthcare and I get updates and things like that. I'm like, oh, geez, what's going on? So when is Chocolate Thunder getting out? He got double life, so I guess the shadows die twice, just like Chocolate Thunder does, right? So that woman in The Witcher always playing and hard to get. What woman? I mean, I stuck with Yennefer. Was it Yennefer or Brandenburg? I know you can hook up with Trish, but the one I wanted to hook up with, I couldn't. Who was the witch on there that was blind? She had the blindfold on. I mean, I wanted to get with her, but you can't. So I always ended up with Yennefer or Brandon, because if you stay solid to Jennifer, you get like a better. It's like a better game. It's hard to explain that. So it's like if you play Mass Effect and you stay with, and you're a male shepherd and you stay with Liara for Mass Effect 1, then through the DLC, Shadow Broker DLC and Mass Effect 2. Then in Mass Effect 3, the dialogue between them two is just a lot. It flows better. Now, of course, with me, I always choose Ashley in the first Mass Effect. Then I choose Miranda in Mass Effect 2. Then I choose Miranda in Mass Effect 3. And then I also try to choose Liara. Then I try to choose the girl that's doing the interviews. So I'm like doing Captain Kirk out there. So, Aloy, well, no, this is because she kissed the girl doesn't make her a lesbian. You all don't even know what a lesbian is. Her kissing a girl don't make her lesbian. So it just makes her interested. So maybe she's just bi-curious. We don't know. So, I mean, if the Aloy you use don't kiss the girl, that's fine too. I like, well, my Aloy got to get a little something. So, but that's just my Aloy. I mean, hell, she sitting up there fighting people from other planets and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, yeah, let the girl get a kiss. It was just a kiss. It wasn't, I thought it was like going to be some side boob or something, the way people were reacting. So But yeah, I think my Aloy get a little smooch on there. It's okay. That's all right. So, yeah, and again, what cracks me up with that whole game is how Aloy's nails are perfectly manicured. And then somebody said, well, somebody in one of those camps must be doing their nails. And that was actually pretty funny. So I actually enjoyed that banter. Your Aloy finna get some. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to. That's the whole thing, guys. You don't have to kiss the girl. I did. It's not, you get a choice. It's not like in The Last of Us Part 2 when Ellie just took it from Dina. She did. Ellie just took it, right? Grabbed Dina by the head. God knows what she did with that head. Oh my goodness gracious. So yeah, she's sweat. Yeah, she's out there battling machines. I promise you, I had to destroy this thing that looked like a Godzilla. It looked just like a metal Godzilla. This thing was huge. Pause. But I took it down. So, oh yeah. Ellie is a redheaded chick. Yeah, Ellie, yeah. That's Ellie, no. Ellie. I thought Ellie had Ellie's a brunette, right? Or does she have red hair? I can't remember. Oh well, I'll have to play that again. So no, Ellie's got dark hair. Yeah, dark hair. That's one thing I thought. I think if you played through, I thought it would have been cool to change both Joel and Ellie's hair, give them different hairstyles. I thought that would have been pretty cool, but we didn't get to do it. Maybe the next Naughty Dog, The Last of Us 3, will be able to do it. So, so, but yeah, The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Night Before Christmas. I like those type of movies. So, but that's me. But guys, so what we have here is when people told you Sony was buying FromSOFTWARE, even FromSOFTWARE has come out and said that that's not 100% accurate, and that's where I wanted to stick the landing, was that give it more time. Yes, they may announce tomorrow that the deal's going to go through. What's my personal game of the year? Mass Effect. It will always be That's my favorite game. I play Mass Effect twice a year. So, and when I say I play Mass Effect, I mean I play the entire, 74 to 82 hours once a year. And then guess what? I start over at around Thanksgiving because I'm off on Thanksgiving Day and the day after, so I could get in, about 12 hours on that Mass Effect 1. So, like Rise of Ronin. Did I get nominated? So, did I get nominated at all? So, choose a new game. No, that's my favorite game. So I will always say that's my favorite. That's my game of the year. So I don't know. Maybe it's because I had, maybe it was because of the time in my life I was going through. I just really connected with that game. And you got to understand, we had a whole community. We had our own little community that we were talking to each other's offline. We had each other's phone numbers. We became friendly. We became acquaintances, maybe not friends, but acquaintances. We knew when one was in a bad mood. We talked to each other once or twice a week. So it was a fun community. Maybe that's why I attached it to the game. So, but no, I've never played Rise of Ronin. And yeah, that'll be a game I get on Christmas, around Christmas time. So that'll be a game that's on there, that's on my list. But are you all going to retry Callisto Protocol? I might. Callisto Protocol is just Dead Space. That's what it is. It is Dead Space. So I haven't played Silent Hill 2 yet. I have not. Nope. I have not. So, but if it's like the original Silent Hill 2, I didn't care for that one. I liked Silent Hill Part 1. I thought Silent Hill Part 1, for me personally, I've always said that's arguably the greatest horror game ever written. It is written pretty good. Now that other one, The Quarry, I played that and beat that. That was actually good too. That was actually really good too. And I haven't played the remake or the remaster, whatever you want to call it, of Until Dawn. So haven't done that either. So the OG concept of Dead Space is, yeah. I mean, I have never played Dead Space. I have it. I bought it, but I never played it. And then now it's on Plus. I can just download it for nothing. But I'm gonna play Dead Space. But my friend Bill, shout out to him. That's his favorite game of all time. He said after Dead Space 2 and 3 were trash, but Dead Space 1 was real good. So, well, yeah. But guys, I'm gonna get on off here. I'm gonna go ahead and eat dinner, and then I am going to settle in because this woman's gonna be here in about another 20 minutes to watch the One Chicago series. That is Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, and Chicago PD. So yeah, you need to finish Callisto. You're about 80% done. You stopped playing because of the weird boss fight. It does have some pretty crazy fights on there. I agree. So, but again, what do you all think of the From Software? Let's shut down the poll. You all do believe that, wow, at a whopping 88%, you all believe that Sony will be able to get their hands on. Okay, fair enough. But we're going to find out. Also, like I said, your favorite YouTuber allegedly traded in a portal, bought another portal. So, I mean, allegedly. So, but let me see here. You like to see the compare. Hold on, wait a minute. All right. Says you like to see what now? Familiar but different. You like to see you compare. What's RE8 to that Resident Evil 2 remake? I thought Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, the remaster, so to speak, I thought those were both really good. Resident Evil 4, I was playing that. That game's fun. And I've already beaten Resident Evil 5, and I never played Resident Evil 6 at all. I stopped after Resident Evil 5. Then I picked it back up with 7, which I didn't care for. Then I played Resident Evil 8, which is a direct sequel to Resident Evil 7, and I didn't know. So when I was playing if you play Resident Evil 8, you find out what happened to you in Resident Evil 7. So I don't know what happened to the wife. Whatever happened to your wife, though? If you play Resident Evil 7, what happened to your wife? Because, I mean, aren't you spending the whole game trying to find her? So, you replay Red Dead 2. Yeah, see, in Red Dead 2 on PlayStation 5, it's trash. It looks like trash. Not unless they patched it. All right, but I remember playing that. I'm like, this game just doesn't look right. No, it doesn't look right. So, I liked Red Dead 1 a little bit more than I liked Red Dead 2. Red Dead 2, I just couldn't get into that much. But it wasn't bad. It was like, I'm not saying that this is a bad game. So, but all right then, guys. I'm going to bounce like a check. I do appreciate you all being here. I know 6:30. I usually go about an hour. So, we're about there right now. So, this is about what time I started playing the music. So, but you all take it easy, and I will talk to you all probably Saturday morning. We'll just kind of wrap up the week that was. Deuces.